Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, Tuesday, the 11th of January, 2021. Remember to share our live stream, viewers. We are on Facebook, Real Talk with Saieed Ali Live. Open your Facebook account, and just share our page. If you haven't subscribed to our page as yet, feel free to do so. Our YouTube channel is presently down. We got a little block, but Nevertheless, it's not the first time. So those of you who want to look at us on YouTube, it is down presently. So you can look at us on Synergy Television or Real Talk with Saieed Ali on Facebook. So just a reminder, viewers, Real Talk Financial and Investment Company is offering you 2.5%, viewers, the highest interest rate that is being paid on any fixed deposit system in any financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago. You only getting it at Real Talk Financing and Investment Company. There are two locations, number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas, 238-6716, 339-1670, or 132 Cipero Road, Victoria Village in San Fernando, 242-7690 or 339-1670. So remember, viewers, only at Real Talk Financing and Investment Company you will get the 2.5%. So take out your hard-earned cash in whatever financial institute you have it, where you're getting 0.05% or 1%, and bring it to Real Talk Financing and Investment Company. Make the best opportunity, the best decision you can ever make, and watch your money grow for you, my dear friends. Remember, you also have 1% on a US dollar fixed deposit account at both locations. So remember, the best is where you get at Real Talk Financing and Investment Company. So as we start our program tonight, viewers, I have a little thing to give all about Scotiabank, I don't mean to discredit their name, whatever policies they have, but I just find it, it ain't suiting me. But I'm not discrediting the bank, that's their policy, but I will share it with you a little later on tonight. Now, Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi is piloting a bill today to make voyeurism a criminal offense in Trinidad and Tobago. Anyone who seeks sexual gratification or cause upset by spying on someone engaging in a private act will face imprisonment and a hefty fine under the Sexual Offense Amendment Bill number 3 in 2021. Now, a magistrate court can impose 2-year jail term and a $250,000 fine, while a high court, the penalty is 5 years and $750,000. The bill will also impose similar penalties for revenge porn style offense. Wow. Go AG. Go AG. Very good. The bill states that the aim of voyeurism is sexual gratification or to cause humiliation or distress, while the act entails an offender knowingly observing, viewing, or recording. So viewers, be very careful about videotaping your private session with your partner, because if it leaks, the person who leak it, let's just say cyber unit trace you and they caught up with you, you will be paying a hefty fine. Magistrate court, you can be jailed for 2 years and $250,000 fine, or if you end up facing the high court, it's 5 years jail and or $750,000 fine. All you porn stars outside here, be very careful now, Be very careful. It is an offense soon to come. So viewers, as we start up our program tonight, caller, good night.
Good night, how are you going?
Go right ahead there, my friend.
Yeah, hello, good night, how are you going?
I good.
Well, Mr. Saeed, thanks for a good program. You educated people a lot. I want to give you some facts, about the ivermectin. People who I know, family, friends, relatives, 11 of my relatives get COVID-19, right? 12 of neighbors and friends get COVID-19, right? I could tell you this. 21 of them use ivermectin. This is what nobody, this is why I'm telling you all know, 21 of them use ivermectin. One of them went to the hospital, and the one who went to the hospital, he died.
Okay.
Right? And I went there, you had two little children anyhow. So when I hear myself, this minister here talking, all he missing is too long hair and a tail, This man just lying to the people, you dying, falling and dying. Look my neighbor, one of my neighbor relative. He take the Pfizer vaccine. The man like a vegetable, a 59-year-old young strong man. Right? This is one of the this is what I will know, people we know, family, friends, relatives, And why you come and bad talking the ivermectin, but the ivermectin work. Right? Look, 21 people are alive because of ivermectin. The one who went in the hospital, he passed away. Mr. Said, when they were at the field family, every day, 2 little children, 7 and 10 years, they will go in the bed and cry and say, Mom is dead. It has hurt to know your mom is dead. What am I to tell that to turn?
True.
What I could tell that to turn? This man go and lie. You put too long in for the minister health and one for until for he and he got to go. He's a perfect one of that. You understand? It really hurt to know this man go and lie in national television. The ivermectin bad, but I will live an example. We're telling you what we know, what I know. Right? 21 survive with ivermectin and they go back to work today. The one who go in the hospital, the man passed away. A 42-year-old young, strong man.
And he wasn't using the ivermectin?
No, he didn't use it. He got in the hospital, he listened to the asking and got in the hospital, and he died.
Wow.
Right? This is what we know. This is a fact. So I think take something I'm talking about and stop talking and lying to the people.
Thank you, my friend. Like I said last night, I've been using it for months. For months, I have no side effects. I am perfectly healthy. And it's working for me. It's working for me. Because I waited. I used it. My pharmacist said, try it. I recommend it to you. So I tried it. A couple months. No side effect, nothing. It's working for me. Now, I'm not saying this to promote ivermectin or anything, or to promote any pharmacy selling it. You understand? So you all don't get me wrong. But what they are saying this, that, the next. I using it and I ain't seen no side effects, anything on me. So that I could prove them wrong if they're saying it's working, it's causing this, it's causing that, it's causing the next. I could say they lie. So as we move on tonight, viewers, just remember, they want to put a bill, a legislation into effect to make it mandatory to be vaccinated in order for the public servant to go to work. They want to make the government workplace a safe zone. So individuals who have families who took the vaccine and end up with complications, please call in the program. Let them know to tune into Synergy. Call inside live on the program and relate the issues that they are having. Now, I want to say something. The ministry quick to condemn. You understand? Sometimes the media association or TAT might want to go against me for highlighting these issues. But the thing is, this is reality we're facing. It is reality we are facing. Because Terence Dialsing said, when you take the vaccine, it reduces the risk of you getting COVID-19. But individuals who took the vaccine, they still got COVID-19 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. You understand? So what he said, if you take the vaccine, it reduces the risk of you getting COVID. That's a lie. The Prime Minister took the vaccine and he got it. Shamfa took the vaccine and she got it. I have friends who took the vaccine and they still got it more than once. Some of them had to stay away from their work on many occasions. It's the facts I'm bringing to you. It's the truth. It's not a mamagism thing here. It's the truth I'm bringing to you. It's not a paid out horse, It's the truth I'm bringing to you. Because it's the truth people need. And that is one thing I stand for here. to let you know the truth. Now, switching gears a bit. Tutor is urging all teachers to hold steadfast to its position that any return to in-person schooling must be done safely. This message was sent after the national officers of tutor walked out of a meeting with the Ministry of Education and other stakeholders. The union stated that they will adhere to its position that any variations of terms and conditions of educators cannot be undertaken by the Ministry of Education, and such matters must be tabled for decisions or discussions. Tutor also advised members that they must be willing to stand strong in the face of these bullying tactics, and it is only through a united front will educators overcome these unfair practices. It's only if you unite you will be able to push the government in a corner and say no mandatory vaccination. Now, the union states that tutor is fed up with the blunt disregard for the welfare of educators, and they will accuse the minister of being disrespectful and devised. Now, this is the word of the union and also the word of tutor viewers. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead. You're live on Real Talk.
Saeed, I have two questions here. One, Saeed, you vaccinated?
Me? Yeah.
All right. So, you're mentioning about the ivermectin, which is a good thing. I use it myself. But my question is, if you fully vaccinated, why did you use the ivermectin? What was the reason for?
Now, they say the vaccine, even though you have the vaccine, you could still get COVID-19, which we have been seeing. You understand? Now, my pharmacist and doctor, they are all vaccinated. They are all vaccinated. My pharmacist went and got vaccine because she had to travel. Hence the reason why she went and got the vaccine. That is why I said to you all, I only took the vaccine because I have business outside and I need to travel. Other than that, I was not going to get vaccinated. So my pharmacist said, Saeed, even though we vaccinated, take the ivermectin as precautionary measures. So you see now, 1 dose, 2 dose of vaccine, now you have a booster. So they bring out that booster now to take. So the ivermectin I am taking, I would say is like a booster to my body. I only took the vaccine to travel, you know. I only took the vaccine to travel. And if the government come out and say, children who go in secondary school have to vaccinate it, let me tell you something, I will keep my son home. I will keep my son home and pay for a teacher or something to come and teach him home. And I will also stand against that for the teachers, for the parents who cannot afford a teacher to come home and teach their child. Because if big hardback individuals are getting side effects with COVID-19, even though you're vaccinated, what you think going to happen to the small one? You think this vaccine, you think they could take it on? No. No. Nowhere around the world they have cure for COVID-19. Nowhere. Nowhere. Even though, viewers, he has not been seen or heard in the public. So far, for the years, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is in good health and hard at work. This was the word of senior government and PNM party officials on Monday, because for a little while now we ain't see the MP, the PM. A government official speaking on conditions they want to remain private said that Dr. Rowley is well and chaired last week's cabinet meeting as usual. Rowley caught COVID-19 last April while in Tobago and was quarantined at the Prime Minister's official residence until he recovered. Now, Rowley last public engagement was at a conference on December 18th in which he said the public sector workers who choose not to get vaccinated for non-medical reasons by mid-January will be flogged. No work. Stay home. You won't get paid. Neither the government nor the PNM official could say whether Rowley was still in Tobago or not. Just imagine that his own colleagues don't even know where is he. Isn't that something? Neither the government nor the PNM official could say whether Rowley was still in Tobago or not. So where is our Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago? Is he in Trinidad? Is he in Tobago? Is he in Trinidad and Tobago presently? Where is he? Is he out on medical reasons? Where is he? Nobody knows. Just imagine a government official don't know where he is. It's sad. So if a crisis take place now and we need the Prime Minister, would they be able to get hold of him? Would he keep a press conference with the snap of a finger? That is something. That is something Trinidad and Tobago. Moving along, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Roshan Parashram have stated that the government has the final word on policies relating to COVID-19 vaccination and the staging of any public event during the COVID-19 pandemic. On December 7th, 2021, the World Health Organization, WHO, made it clear that countries should implement mandatory COVID-19 vaccination. Is the World Health Organization paying for anybody who take the vaccine and end up with complications? No. No. Did they make it mandatory in China? No. Did they make it mandatory in India? No. Did they make it mandatory in England? No. Did they make it mandatory in Germany? No. Did they make it mandatory in Australia? No. The only person tried to make it mandatory in the Caribbean was Ralph Gonsalves for his country. And when they riot against him for making such statement, he ended up in Barbados seeking medical attention for one or two boss head. Imagine that, eh? Now, once all other options to vaccinate their population have failed, asked whether TNT has reached this point, Parashram said it was up to the government to determine whether it needs to implement any policies to increase vaccination.
By way of policy, again, that is a matter for the government of the country to go forward as it relates to a policy decision to increase the vaccination. But we will continue to try at the Ministry of Health to reach as many people as we can by, of course, advocating for vaccination.
That is why I tell you, the viewers, if you know a friend or a family took the vaccine and end up with complication, feel free to call in Real Talk. Live from Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. on Synergy Network. We live. Call in and voice your concern, your opinion on the vaccine. I am not telling you to take it. I am not telling you don't take it. I have friends who took it and they are healthy. I have friends who took it and end up in complications. So it's your choice. Caller, good night.
Saeed, good night, sir.
Go right ahead, my friend.
The call is for people to take the vaccine, and there are some people who don't want to take the vaccine. The people who doesn't take the vaccine side and getting sick with the COVID or any other sickness, where do they want to go to get help from? At the hospital or by the bar or by the beach? Where do they want to go to get cured? The call is to take the vaccine to help themselves, to help your immune system or whatsoever. But you want to say, well, don't take it because it will affect this or it will affect that. So when you get sick, why are you going to the hospital for? Don't go to the hospital, go to some Obiaman or something, will help you out.
Caller, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
If you take the vaccine, I have a barber who took the vaccine 2 doses, and he cannot stand on his left leg. Where is he going to get help?
Well, these are questions that I can't answer right now, but I took the 3
So
shots.
do not condemn. What you did just now is that you condemn. If you get sick and you have to go to the hospital, what about you take the vaccine? My barber took the vaccine. I have a friend who working in a prominent company in Trinidad and Tobago. She took the vaccine and she's suffering with severe migraine headache. This is a thing she never had. So where is she going now to get better?
But then what happened now is that the Minister of Health and the government had to recheck the vaccine coming to the country. If the vaccine is not properly ready for use.
I am telling you, now, if you have been following our show, a lot of people called in and said how they have complications, their friend have complications after taking the vaccine. So that is why I don't condemn it. It is up to you. But the government cannot say you have to take it. They cannot make it mandatory. So my question is now, if the unvaccinated get sick, you are saying they're going in the hospital. Right? Now if the vaccinated get sick now, where them going? Not in the hospital also? So thank you so much for making your comments. But there are 2 sides to it. If you're unvaccinated, they'll spread COVID-19 to the one who vaccinated. But if the vaccine working, the vaccinated not supposed to get it. So those type of stupid statement, where does it put them? Nowhere. Because you're embarrassing yourself as a minister or an individual in health. So why it is now? Why it is there are so much unvaccinated nurses in the hospitals? Why? Because they are seeing first hand on the vaccine and on the unvaccinated. They are seeing it first hand. So with the AG bringing out that statement to make it mandatory, and the Prime Minister bringing out that statement to make it mandatory, they don't have the how to say it? They don't have the authorization as a human being to make it mandatory. Because I am asking tonight, human rights lawyers, we have so much of murderers in prison who are sentenced to hang. Why not hang them? Because human rights say don't hang them is against human rights. Well then you cannot allow the Prime Minister and you cannot allow the AG to pass a law to make it mandatory for humans to take the vaccine. Well, you snatching my freedom of rights to choose. That is what you're doing. So where is the human rights lawyer now? We can't hear them, we can't find them, we can't see them. So I hope that answers your question, my friend. Now, he added that the Ministry of Health continue to try in terms of avenues to get persons vaccinated. You see, I'm going to tell you something. The reason why there is vaccine hesitancy in Trinidad is because the Ministry of Health failed to confront from the beginning and let the individuals know exactly what is taking place. When cases started to arise now with vaccinated individuals, Trinidad and Tobago people seeing it because it's their friend, it's their family who took the vaccine and end up with complications. But yet Terrence Yalsing coming out on a media platform for TVs, for the media to broadcast, you're not taking the vaccine and reduce the risk of you getting COVID. I had many friends took it and they end up with COVID. 1 or 2 times they had to stay away from their work. They had to stay away and they have the 2 doses. So by Terrence making that statement, where does that put you as a minister? On a back burner? Because you want to tell me, Saeed, if you come on TV, you're going to make money. And Saeed on TV and I broke like a dog. So when you tell me, I'm making no sense. I broken before I reach on TV, and when I reach on TV, I still broken. Does that make sense? So hear this. After they trying all avenues for persons to get vaccinated, Parasham also believe that there is need to be a lot of one-on-one level counseling between doctors and patients about the importance of being vaccinated against COVID-19. Listen to this.
In terms of our population, we continue to try in terms of avenues to get persons vaccinated as best as we can. There's access at all our health centers, there's access at the mass vaccine sites. We are working with the University of the West Indies as well, by way of social sciences, to try to get some additional vaccinations by way of changing the messaging. But at this point in time, I think there's a lot of counseling that has to happen at the one-on-one level between the nurses and the physicians who these patients trust, so that they can answer their questions and go forward.
Like I said, I have nothing against the vaccine. We ain't stopping nobody from taking it. It's your choice. But like I said, many people are complaining that they take the vaccine and they end up with this case, they end up with that case, they end up with another case. Things that they didn't have in their body, they start having it. So who is going to answer these questions? The ministry pushing vaccine safe. I pushing who is dealing with the complication after they take the vaccine. That is my thing. You want us to take the vaccine? Okay, no problem. It fight against COVID-19, no problem. Every Hines says if you take the vaccine, you will still get COVID-19. Terrence Yalsing said, if you take the vaccine, it reduces the risk of you getting COVID-19. So, epidemiologist Dr. Avery Hines says, you could still get COVID if you take the vaccine. Minister of Health Terrence Yalsing said, you take the vaccine, it reduces the risk of you getting COVID-19. So, the one on the left versus the one on the right, and we the citizen in the middle. So here we know. If every Hines saying we could still get the vaccine, if we take the vaccine, we still getting COVID-19. But it reduces the risk of us ending up in hospital. We have the asking on the other side, the vaccine safe, take it, it reduces the risk of you getting COVID. Which one of them is lying? Which one of them is lying? Balance the scale. And that is what we see in Trinidad. People taking the vaccine and ending up with complication. But yet Terrence saying it reduces the risk of you getting COVID. While every hand saying if you take the vaccine you can still get COVID. You see the public now is baffled. We are baffled about this situation. But now they want to make it mandatory now. So which one of them is telling the truth? That is why I ask you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, if you have a friend or you have a family, took the vaccine and end up with complications, call in the program live and let the viewers of Real Talk, local and international, even Parashram, even the Attorney General, even the President, even the Prime Minister would understand what is taking place. Because let me tell you something, making it mandatory and you end up with a problem, none of them are coming to help you now. I want you to understand that. Like I said, I am not against the vaccine. You have your choice. I made my choice. I don't want my business shut down abroad, out of Trinidad, so I made my choice. I beg God, I said, Lord, you know my heart. I took the vaccine. Thank God nothing happened to me. Nothing happened to me. Right? But my barber was not fortunate like me. He was unfortunate. He took the vaccine and he ended up with a complication. So my thing to the ministry now, my thing to Parashram, my thing to the Prime Minister, my thing to the President, my thing to Terence Dial Singh is if you take the vaccine and you end up with a complication, how we dealing with the complication? Parashram said, WHO said all countries should make it mandatory. Does WHO have anything in place that when you take the vaccine and you end up with a complication, who's seen about the complication? I sure if you was stupid last night, tonight you get smart. Tonight you go get smart. And I call you now to bash the unvaccinated. But what about now the vaccinated getting sick just like the unvaccinated? Who going where? Who going where? Caller, good night.
Hi, President. Good night, Saieed. Oh my gosh, you said all that I was going to say. And I am one of those unvaccinated, and I'll tell you why I waited so long. And I'm glad that I waited so long because I have been doing my research as well, right? They want to force this jab on persons, and you realize it didn't say it's a vaccine, they say it's a jab. So if you look up the definition for a jab, you know that jab causes injury, right? But they just put it in that format, right? You want me, right, to take my healthy body, and I know I'm healthy, right, to take that jab, right? And that is not even protecting your people. Your people, the vaccinated, are afraid of us unvaccinated. The unvaccinated have been restricted. You put safe zones, and only they can go and have a good time, right? All of them go in safe zones. Then all of a sudden there's a spread. But you're blaming it on the unvaxxed, right? When they were the ones restricted, right? And the ones who were free to roam were these vaccinated persons. They are the super spreader. Who are you fooling? These people, they are taking this jab. Some are being affected immediately by dying. Others serious injury. I was watching Natuk today when they had their press briefing. These children in wheelchairs. Really? Who's helping these parents? The lady had to call directly to Pfizer to get help for her child because she called the Ministry of Education and they didn't give a damn about her. Excuse my language.
Just be careful, you're on air.
Yes, and then there's a 26-year-old lady from some Chinese restaurant in St. Augustine who took the jab. This was on Natuk press briefing, right? And this poor girl, this young lady, is in a wheelchair, right? Her mother had to wheel her in. She took that jab, right? Now they're saying that they're not forcing it, but mandatory vaccination in Trinidad and Tobago started a long time. They have been forcing these employers, right, doing it indirectly, right?
Yes.
And how are you assisting these people now when they have their kids to take care of? Right? Some people, they may not even know they have underlying conditions. They may feel healthy and everything, go and take this thing, and they may not be even pick up in a regular medical, test, right? And they go and take this thing, and next thing you know, they are paralyzed. And listen, if it didn't affect them now, later on, it may, because these things are experimental. Correct. We don't know if it's going to affect the body. So you want us to take it, but you can still contract it, you can still transmit it, and you can still die from it. So what is the sense of pushing this nonsense in the U.S., right? The Supreme Court shutting it down, right, with this mandatory vaccination. But I realize the government have no sense of intelligence. Everything the outside will do, they want to do, right? They say the WHO. Is the WHO the Ministry of Education? The Ministry of Health? Look at it in the U.S., you have CDC. Is WHO CDC? No. Each country makes their rules as they go along, right? But everything WHO says, you have to do. You have all these junior experts who knows nothing. You're hearing all these global experienced experts who are 40 plus years. So we have all this information. We are reading the peer reviews. We are being informed. And they are feeding Trinidad and Tobago with one foolish narrative. And people are running with it, taking this thing, and dying. Imagine a lady, which hurts me, saying that she's taking this so that she can feed her family, so she can get a salary at the end of the month. So her children don't be hungry, and the woman end up paralyzed. Right? Who takes care of these people? Exactly. Right? If Trinidad and Tobago stand up, if everybody comes out, but you see they're only waiting on 7 and 8 activists. 7 and 8 activists, and when they go out there, they're not coming out, so that's why sometimes I say, right? I mean, I doesn't really want to say that because I'm a praying person, but sometimes they look for what they get, because they are not standing. The only way that this nonsense will stop is if everybody in Trinidad and Tobago stands up for their rights, right? These are your God-given rights, and you have to fight now, because if you don't fight now, later on, they will make decisions, and their decisions can cause everybody's death. That's all I have to say, Saheed. Have a blessed night.
Family, are you a lawyer by chance?
Yes, I am. Harvard. Bye-bye.
From the time she started off, I heard a little birdie whisper, toodly doodly doo doo doo. Hear the law side. That's all I hear in my ears, you know. Hear the law side. That's why I asked her that question. You see, the bird whistle nice. So, like I said, I am not against the vaccine. It's your choice. It's your choice. But when I realize the government only hitting you on top of the cake, but they're not taking care of the citizen on the underneath side of the cake who got complication, that is what caused me to push in a different direction. You can't make it mandatory. You cannot. Anytime you make it mandatory, I hire QCs to carry a letter court. I will pay them myself. I will pay them myself. Even Deborah Thomas Felix come out and say, you just cannot change a policy just so. But all I feel like out here to make friends? I'm not outside here to make friends. I am here to stand up for the 99% of the citizens who do not have a voice. Let me tell you something. You can't push 10,000 in my pocket and say, Saeed, tell them go take the vaccine. You're mad or what? Not 1 day in 4 years. I ask anybody for an ad. People is want to know, Saeed, how you surviving in this economical time. When you go to pray, ask God how Saeed surviving. God will tell you. God will tell you. So here it is. Opposition Senator Wade Mark has slammed National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines for what he described as a frontal attack on the police. We have a call on the line. Caller, good night.
Good night.
Go right ahead.
Well, Saeed, I'm listening to you on the ivermectin, and I'm hearing a lot of people talking about it. But I would like to know what it does for you. What is it about?
Caller, I didn't hear you clearly. I do apologize.
I'm talking about the ivermectin. Are you hearing me?
Yes, ivermectin. Something about ivermectin you're saying.
Yes, I'm listening to this, and I have been speaking to a few friends here in Trinidad, and I know a lot of people are taking it, but I asked them, what is it for? What does it do to the body to fight COVID? Because I really have not heard it to be a medicine for COVID. So what does it do? I don't know.
All right, here's what I will do for you. Tomorrow, I will get all the information and I will put it on a sheet of paper and I will read it out for you, Trinidad and Tobago. I will read it out for you. Opposition Senator Wade Mark have slammed National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines for what he described as a frontal attack on the police. Mark did say today in the Senate, when he called upon Hines to retract a statement he reportedly made that only about 40% of the members of the protective service were doing all the work. I wonder which 40 is that? In his response, Hines did not retract the statement and stated that he left his busy schedule to answer this very empty and banal question. So Hines, which 40% doing the work? Hines said his statement was only a personal observation and was not intended to be a criticism. Listen to this.
Madam President, regretful as I am to leave my busy schedule to answer this, what I consider to be very empty and banal question, I must respond to you in answer to question 20. The Minister of National Security certainly does not propose to retract this statement in view of the fact that it was not designed or intended to be a criticism, but rather an observation by this minister.
No, but the thing is, Hines, you cannot come out and say the police service, only 40% of the police in the protective service doing their job. You cannot be a minister and come out and say something like that. You cannot do that. What you encouraging now is for the next 60% of the service not to do nothing. If you made that statement, according to Wade Mack, you just put down the police force. And if the Minister of National Security could make a statement like that, what do you want police officers to do? You should have made a statement like, well, you know, I am the Minister of National Security and I believe that TTPS is doing their best with the resources they presently have. That would have been your observation, a proper observation, because the Commissioner of Police never bad talk TTPS. He came out and said in the 21st century, just imagine TTPS had to rent a building to house a police station. TTPS lacking funding. But he never bad talk the officers. Yes, they are officers. We have seen it from time to time. There are officers who found themselves in criminal activity and they were caught and charged under a criminal activity. That doesn't mean to say that TTPS is corrupted. That officer chooses to be corrupted. Because I have some friends who are superintendents, who are corporals, who are sergeants, who are SRP, and they do their work diligently. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said.
Go right ahead.
Yes. Every night you on TV, you try to educate people and enlighten them, and so illiterate nonsense like that. We didn't take vaccine when we get to find out over them. I hope when his skin starts to shrink, he will find out over.
What she say? She what? I didn't even hear what she said. Now, Mark asked Hines to explain his rationales for making his statement or apologize to the police for making it. However, Senate President Christine Kangaloo disallowed Mark's call to Hines. Mark said, in the future, do not attack the police.
Madam President, can the Honourable Minister indicate what were the factors that informed his observations as it relates to condemning police officers in the context of his statement?
That question doesn't arise from the question that was posed and the answer given.
Well, Madam President, can the Minister share with this Senate whether his statement that 40% of the members of the protective services seem to be doing all the work, can the Minister indicate how he arrived at this particular position?
Senator Mock, that question too does not arise.
So, Madam President, can I ask, therefore, is the Minister prepared to apologize to the police service for that very outrageous statement that he made in condemnation of the police service of this country?
Senator Mock, that question does not arise.
Well, I would ask the Minister in future, do not attack the police service as he has done. Madam,
I myself would say attacking the police force in Trinidad and Tobago by words of choice is very bad. You condemn TTPS officers. If there are corrupted officers in TTPS, when they are caught, they will be charged under the criminal offense. That does not mean to say the whole 100% of TTPS officers are crooked. No. One apple, they spoil a bunch. But if you remove that crooked one, the whole bunch is good. Trinidad and Tobago must be ready for a surge of the Omicron COVID-19 variant, which may be in the early stage of local or community spread. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Roshan Parashram stated that the ministry did 29 additional samples and 5 of those showed up to be Omicron while 24 were Delta. Parashram added that it is very hard to tell, but there could be local cases. He said the ministry is looking at early community or local spread, and it will only be a matter of time before this happens.
We would have done 29 additional samples. 5 of those would have shown up to be Omicron, and the rest of them, 24, would have been Delta. So in terms of what we're sampling and what we're actually getting back, we still have 17.24% of those over the last week would have been Omicron, and the rest of them would have been Delta. So we're still seeing a predominance of Delta in the sampling. It's very hard to tell at this point. We certainly had local cases. We had 4 out of the 17 that have been confirmed as local. The others have travel-related histories. So we're looking at early community or early local spread for sure. And it will only be a matter of time looking at what has happened to the other countries. We had said about a week or 2 weeks, and then we'll see an increase. But we're waiting to see that increase, at least coming out of these samples.
So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break that was paid for by Real Talk Finance and Investment Company, but we'll be right back after this.
Are you looking for quick cash and do not know where to turn? We have got the answer for you. Visit us at Real Talk Group of Companies. We are a licensed money lending financial institution. We are located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Our phone numbers are 339-1670, 267-7325 or 238-6716. Contact us today. We look forward to hearing from you.
Are you looking for the right investment? Are you looking for a greater return on your hard-earned cash? Look no further. Contact Real Talk Group of Companies located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. At Real Talk Investment, you can earn up to 3.5% interest on your 3-year investment. Don't miss out on this amazing offer. Do contact us now on 339-1670, 238-6716. For further information, our helpful team is ready to assist. Real Talk Investment. Real people matter to us. This ad was paid for by Real Talk Group of Companies Limited.
So welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. We have a caller. Good night.
Hello, good night, Zay.
Go right ahead, my friend.
I am sick and tired of this. It have a swimming pool on the beach. I think Heinz and Dialsing and Kangaloo and all should go and take a bath in it. That's them. They're sickening.
Thank you, my friend. Now, moving along, viewers. Trinidad and Tobago must be ready for a surge. CMO also mentioned that unlike Delta and other variants, Omicron seems to be replicating in the upper respiratory trace and not the lower respiratory tract. My mistake. He said it also appears to be less severe than Delta for those who are vaccinated.
Unlike Delta and other variants, Omicron seems to be replicating in the upper respiratory tract and not the lower respiratory tract in the lungs. So the upper respiratory tract means the nasal passages, nasopharynx, and the upper bits above the lungs. While the Omicron does appear to be less severe compared to Delta, especially in those vaccinated, it doesn't mean that it should be categorized by any means as mild, it's still causing severe illness, hospitalization, and death.
So viewers, you know, it's all kind of thing to blame the unvaccinated, blame the unvaccinated, blame the unvaccinated. It's one set of thing, I believe. Emergency medical care specialists, Dr. Joanne Paul, have stated that children are among the people who are most vulnerable to a potential Omicron COVID-19 variant surge in TNT. She states that there are currently 5 COVID-19 pediatric cases in the parallel healthcare system.
We have 4 of those pediatric cases in the Arima General Hospital and 1 in Cora. Just going to give the ages if that's okay. But, so we have the ages being the first one in Arima. We have a 2-year-old. Our second one in Arima General Hospital is an infant who's less than 6 months old. In terms of our third one going through, and we have those who in Arima, of course, are much more critical than the one in Cora. And number 3, in terms of that one, is we have a 15-year-old also.
Now viewers, Paul added that while there have been reports of the possible emergency of the new COVID-19 variant, Delta Cron, we have Delta, we have Omicron, and now we have a new variant that says Delta Cron. Now, available data does not suggest it is a variant of concern, such as Delta or Omicron. So the merge the two together, we had Delta Cron now. Listen to this video.
You have the incidental category where they might come in with a fracture of their wrist or their hand, and they also have COVID by chance. But that's a smaller group. The larger group are the ones who come in with pure, because it's so transmissible, you're having an increase in Omicron coming through with regards to children in terms of hospitalizations.
She also urged parents to ensure that their adolescent children between 12 and 18 are vaccinated as soon as possible, and to talk to their children, regardless of age, about protecting themselves against COVID-19. You know, nurses and doctors are not taking the vaccine. Even the health minister are urging nurses and doctors to take the vaccine. But the thing is, if they are on the front line and they are seeing the cases of the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, and they made their choice, who is me and you, who are not working in the hospital? We are not in the hospital, but they are, and they made their choice. So I am standing for the vaccinated, who is also getting COVID-19, and I'm also standing for the unvaccinated, who is also getting COVID-19. It's sad to say, but this is the reality of it. This is the reality of it. Just a quick reminder, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, TTPS, is aiming to conclude its investigation into the MV Ocean Pelican Boxing Day event by the end of this week. Deputy Commissioner of Police Wendell Williams and his investigative team were at the office of the Director of Public Prosecution, that is the DPP office, on January 4th, and said since then the investigations continued. At the center of the investigation is businessman and party promoter Adrian Schoon. Schoon is the son of Paula Gopi Schoon, Minister of Trade and Industry. The TTPS said they all were detained, processed and released. That is the individuals who were on the Ocean Pelican. They also added that consultations were held with the DPP and investigations began to ascertain if there were any breach of the public health guidelines. So Trinidad and Tobago, a lot of things is taking place in our country. COVID-19 is at the front of discussions in schools, health facilities, government office, private sectors. So tonight I would ask you, Trinidad and Tobago, what is the right thing? What is the right thing, vaccinated or unvaccinated? While some choose to condemn the unvaccinated, they are failing to look at the vaccinated one and see what is taking place. So how can the unvaccinated give the vaccinated COVID-19 when the vaccinated individuals have 2 doses? That is a question to the health minister, Mr. Terence Dial Singh. It is also a question to Dr. Roshan Parashram. Why condemn? Why are you all condemning when you all refuse to say what is taking place with the vaccinated individuals? My job is to bring both sides to the table. That is my job. The vaccinated have a choice, the unvaccinated have a choice. The unvaccinated getting COVID-19, the vaccinated getting COVID-19. So ask yourself, which is the right thing? Which is the right thing? Our friends who are unvaccinated, they got the virus. They got over it. I have some vaccinated, they got the virus, they got over it. Some took the vaccine and ended up with complications. Others took it and they are healthy. So I'm asking the Attorney General now, why are you all wants to make it mandatory when there is no policy in place for one who take the vaccine and end up with complication? And the first thing they will say, oh, it comorbidities. So that is why I asked a question in December, and recently I asked it again. If someone have the vaccine, 2 doses, you get COVID, and you got a heart attack, how are you labeling that person? Heart attack and died, COVID-19 and died, or vaccinated 2 doses and died? How are you going to class that? Comorbidities? COVID-19? What? How are we going to class it? How are we going to class someone who died from kidney failure while being vaccinated and, let's just say, you're COVID-19 positive? Comorbidities wouldn't kill them, but the COVID could kill them. That time you got a heart attack. That time you die with lung failure. That time you die with kidney failure. But you know what? We got to blame it on COVID-19. If I am talking nonsense, you tell me. Because that's fine. Any individual who died with COVID-19 from comorbidities, oh, they had comorbidities and they died with COVID-19. But they wouldn't say what in the comorbidities caused the person to die. So you tell me, all the doctors, the nurse, the surgeon, the medical practitioner, how do you call that? You see, I am raising questions that the individuals of Trinidad and Tobago, our Trinbagonian brothers and sisters, male and female, would open your eyes. Because in 2020, when COVID introduced itself to Trinidad and Tobago, we had no vaccine for the whole of 2020. We had asymptomatic. You could carry it and you don't know, but yet you're healthy. 2021, we got COVID-19 vaccine. Complications started to arise, death started to arise. But who are we blaming? Vaccinated or unvaccinated? In 2022 now, they want to snatch your right. Freedom to choose. I ask myself, where's the human rights lawyer? Are they only good for when the court found that individual guilty of murder? Don't hack them. It's human rights. It's against the law. But it's okay to snatch our rights right under our noses. With what? With a bill they want to pilot. And lawyers? How many of you are speaking out now? All the years you studied law to help citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Where are you today? You're afraid they might discriminate you for speaking out? Nevertheless, I am here without having to ask anybody for a payment. So viewers, you are viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali. There's a rerun of this program tomorrow, being Wednesday, the 11th of January 2022. And we'll be right back here on Wednesday night, 12th of January 2022, for our Public Concerns Night. So remember, share your concerns, the road, the bridges, the drainage. Send your videos and a picture to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will use your video and picture so the whole of Trinidad and Tobago would see where there is bad roads. So until we meet again, viewers, be safe and enjoy the night.